4 days after my parents arrived in Europe, my phone showed 217 missed calls. My mother was crying. My father was furious. My sister was leaving voicemail after voicemail, demanding that I call her back immediately. With every passing hour, their messages became more desperate. At first, they blamed me. Then they begged me. Then they started accusing each other. By the end of the fourth day, they were all asking the same question. A question I already knew the answer to. The funny thing is, none of this should have surprised them. The warning signs had been there from the very beginning. They just never thought those signs mattered. To understand why my family completely fell apart in less than a week, we have to go back 6 months to the day I decided to give them something I thought they would never forget. My name is Elena, and at 26, I had become the family member everyone relied on whenever they needed money, favors, or solutions. Growing up, my younger sister Sarah was always the favorite. If she made a mistake, it was forgiven. If I succeeded, it was expected. Still, I convinced myself that my parents loved us equally. That's why I spent months saving every extra dollar I could earn. I wanted to surprise them with the vacation of a lifetime. Paris, Rome, Switzerland, every detail was carefully planned. I imagined us finally making happy memories together. Looking back now, I realize I was the only one dreaming about that future. The betrayal happened so fast that my brain struggled to process it. One second I was excited about our trip. The next, I was staring at Sarah sitting comfortably in the seat that should have been mine. My father avoided eye contact while my mother acted as if replacing me with my sister was the most normal thing in the world. Sarah didn't even try to hide her smile. She thanked me for the upgrades before I had said a single word. Something inside me broke that day. But strangely, I didn't argue. I simply nodded and continued driving toward the airport. The silence inside the car became unbearable. Sarah spent the entire drive talking about shopping in Paris and posting pictures from first class. My parents laughed along with her, completely ignoring me. Every few minutes, I glanced into the rearview mirror and realized something important. None of them felt guilty. None of them believed they had done anything wrong. That realization hurt more than the betrayal itself. By the time we reached the terminal, I had made a decision. I wouldn't create a scene. I would let consequences teach the lesson that respect never could. Inside the airport, everything appeared normal. We checked bags. We walked through the crowded terminal. We stood in line like every other family preparing for a vacation. Yet there were a few moments that seemed unusual. I stepped away to make a short phone call. Later, I spent several minutes reviewing information on my phone. When I returned, Sarah asked what I was doing. I smiled and said, "Just making sure everything is in order." At the time, those words meant nothing to them. Later, they would remember every single one. For the first day after they landed in Europe, I heard nothing. Then the messages started. First came confusion, then frustration, then panic. My phone filled with missed calls and increasingly desperate texts. Apparently, things weren't unfolding exactly as they expected. The luxury experience they had been bragging about wasn't going according to plan. The confidence I had seen at the airport slowly disappeared from every message they sent. I didn't respond. I simply watched the notifications pile up. By the third day, the calls became non-stop. My mother left emotional voicemails. My father demanded explanations. Sarah accused me of ruining everything. The strange thing was that none of them apologized. Not once. They still acted as though I owed them a solution. Every voicemail revealed the same belief they had carried for years that I would eventually fix whatever problem they created. They didn't realize that for the first time in my life, I wasn't coming to rescue them. On the fourth day, after nearly 200 missed calls, I finally answered. The moment I spoke, everyone started shouting at once. They demanded answers. They demanded help. They demanded money. I waited until they finished before calmly explaining the truth. The trip had been designed around one traveler, the person who booked it, managed it, and was supposed to participate in it. The moment they chose to replace me without even asking, they lost access to the benefits that depended on my involvement. I didn't cancel their vacation. I simply stopped carrying them. For years, they treated my generosity like an obligation. At that moment, they finally learned the difference. The conversation ended exactly the way our relationship had functioned for years, with them demanding more and me refusing. After that day, things changed. Some relatives called me selfish. Others quietly admitted I had every right to walk away. As for me, I felt something I hadn't experienced in years: peace. The endless guilt, pressure, and obligation disappeared. Whenever I remember those 200 missed calls, I don't think about revenge. I think about freedom, because that cold sound, tut, 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 wasn't the sound of ignoring my family. It was the sound of finally choosing myself.